Well, there. Let's get going. That was kind of word vomit on my part, right? Well, there. I think well then might have been better. I'm in Philadelphia, as you can see. This is Lombardi Leaves the stadium. This is a game book. The 49ers just destroyed the Eagles. 42-19, the final score. And I mean, so much of this, what we saw on the field today, is going to reverberate through the NFL for the rest of this season. I mean, it's not often that you have a regular season game that means this much. And you could tell how much it meant just due to the fact that so many people on the sideline lost their cool today. I mean, we start with the Eagles security guard, right? He got ejected from this game for shoving Dre Greenlaw. And there's probably going to be more downstream punishments for that because that's unacceptable. Nick Sirianni before the game seemed to be trying to talk some crap to the 49ers. I mean, Philadelphia, the 49ers got under their skin because San Francisco, they lost the NFC Championship game, but they were sure that they lost because Brock Purdy got hurt. They were sure that they were a better team than the Eagles, and they would have beaten them had Purdy not gotten hurt. And the 49ers weren't shy about saying that all offseason. They didn't say, yeah, we respect Philly, all this, all that. They said, no, we would have beaten you had Brock Purdy not gotten hurt. And obviously that bothered Philadelphia. They came into this game with an edge. It was made worse by the fact that Philly was an underdog despite being 10-1, right? So this is the first time in NFL history that a 10-1 team had been an underdog at home, a home underdog. And all of that kind of intensified the pressure cooker to the point where Sirianni was yelling stuff. The teams were jawing on the field. We had multiple kind of incidents over the course of the game where there was a little extracurricular activity, and the pressure cooker exploded, right? When you're on the sideline, Dre Greenlaw had the body slam. The Dre Greenlaw suplex happened, and the Eagles security guard got up in his face, and both of them got ejected. On paper, it definitely favored Philadelphia. Kyle Shanahan was irate, but I just thought that sequence illustrated the dynamic of what was going on because the 49ers were in this game shoving Philadelphia around. The Eagles lost their composure. A healthy 49ers team is better than the Eagles. I think that's clear right now. The 49ers have beaten the Cowboys 42-10 and the Eagles 42-19. Brock Purdy should be the MVP front runner right now, but it's not just Brock Purdy. It's obviously a whole host of 49ers weapons. I think Nick Bosa said it the best. There are like 20 dudes on this team. So Deebo Samuel, he was talking about how unselfish Deebo Samuel is because it's hard when you get paid, when you're expected to perpetuate a level of production, being the dude or being the guy. When you have 20 guys on your team, when it's McCaffrey, Purdy, Ayuk, I mean, so many guys outside of just Deebo Samuel that can do stuff. You have to have that unselfish gene to be able to perform week in and week out because you're not going to be getting this spotlight week in and week out. But the 49ers performed and Deebo Samuel performed even in those conditions. And that's the sign of a great team. And another sign of the great team is the actual result. I mean, beating an Eagles team 42-19. This is an Eagles team that wasn't losing. They were 10-1. They lost a close game to the Jets, but being the first opponent to blow the doors off the Eagles and to do it here, to do it at Lincoln Financial Field, I mean, that says a whole heck of a lot. Today, like I said, this is going to have ripple effects around the NFL. I think it redrew a lot of what the national media and just the big picture nationally is, and that is Brock Purdy wasn't taken seriously by some, even though he was statistically the best quarterback in the league. Well, after leading 6 straight touchdown drives, it's the first time since the Ravens did it in 2019. Lamar Jackson, MVP that year, was the quarterback of that team. After leading 6 straight touchdown drives, Brock Purdy should pass Jalen Hurts in any credible MVP discussion. The 49ers defense kept Hurts hemmed into that pocket, right? They kept him hemmed into the pocket, and they didn't allow him to run through the B gap. They didn't allow him to run upfield. Whenever he had to bail, they were like, okay, you can bail, but we'll make sure coverage is good, and you just have to throw it away. So keep him in that pocket unless he just needs to bail outside, and it's a harmless throw downfield. Yeah, Jalen Hurts made a few plays, but by far the best quarterback on the field today was Brock Purdy. And the 49ers also had the best supporting cast of skill position weapons. I mean, they are just overwhelming with their amount of skill position weapons. And they didn't panic in the first quarter either. I get it. There probably was a lot of panic on social media, but let's be honest. It came down to 2 unproductive plays. 2 3-and-outs with 2 unproductive first downs where the 49ers either got no gain or pushed themselves back with a penalty. And when that happens, Philadelphia, one-trick pony, they can pass rush you, and it's not going to look as good. But as soon as you tilt the scales in your favor, if you get second and manageable, third and manageable, you can't cover all of the eligibles on this 49ers offense. Just the stark reality of the situation. This was a mediocre Philadelphia defense. They had been entering this season, number 14 DVOA. They couldn't cover the 49ers. They could, I mean, a quarter in, -6 yards for the 49ers. The rest of the way, 450 yards on 9 yards of play. Just gives you an idea of the explosiveness that you're dealing with. And 49ers offensive line, I think, grew up in front of our eyes today. They had a significant disadvantage against Hassan Reddick and Jalen Carter and that Philadelphia defensive line. They were at a significant disadvantage. We can't beat around that bush. The 49ers had to scheme their way around it. They had to do what they've been doing all season. That's rely on Brock Purdy to bring the goods. He's the most efficient quarterback in the league despite working with below average pass protection. So the 49ers did all that. Purdy, Deebo Samuel, all that explosiveness from Deebo Samuel. The throw to Christian McCaffrey, that was well before McCaffrey had even passed the defender, let alone come out of his break on the wheel route. I mean, the offense is playing at a Joe Montana, Steve Young, Hall of Fame type of level right now. Brock Purdy's playing at that type of level as well. But they're doing it behind an offensive line that obviously has been the weakness of the 49ers. We've talked about this many times. And, you know, the fact that that offensive line was able to put some of its best football on film today against the Eagles team that obviously knocked Brock Purdy out with Hassan Reddick's pass rush that led the league in sacks last year. The fact that the 49ers offensive line grew up over the course of this game under those conditions against this team on the road, huge arrow up for the 49ers. You don't win 42-19 unless you're doing something really right on the trenches. Opposite trench, Javon Kinlaw, 2 sacks. Kalia Davis, a sack. Nick Bosa was in the locker room, and he was giving both of those guys big hugs. Nick Bosa, I mean, you just watch how these guys interact with each other. Nick Bosa's a quality teammate. He fits into that locker room really well. And I think the whole locker room meshes well. I think that's been a point of emphasis for the 49ers under Lynch and Shanahan, and it's really paying off right now. So it was resounding. The 49ers defense held Philadelphia to 2.6 yards per rush. That was, I mean, the run defense problems are a thing of the past now for the 49ers. They are passing test after test. Chase Young is setting a very solid edge for the 49ers. I mean, it is impressive stuff that this football team is doing. So I'm 8 minutes in. It's time to start making the walk out of this stadium. So I'm going to do my best here to balance everything. I'm in one of the radio booths, and we can walk out. The unselfishness in the locker room absolutely sets a tone. I think I'm alone here. We'll see. This is the press box in Philly. Deebo Samuel averaged 29 yards a reception for the 49ers tonight. Hopefully I don't lose you in the elevator. That'd be bad. The club suites here at Lincoln Financial Field. Last one out, as I normally am. Hopefully I get out of the stadium. Wouldn't be good. The Eagles, I don't think the 49ers have a lot of respect for the Eagles beyond the defensive line. And if they bought enough time for Brock Purdy to throw, the 49ers, there's Donovan McNabb, the 49ers thought that they had a significant advantage over the Eagles on the back end. I don't think they respect Philadelphia's linebackers. I don't think they respect Philadelphia's cornerbacks. They definitely don't respect their safeties. The 49ers believe they can make hay against all of those players.
Lobby.
And I think that the 49ers did make hay against all those players. All right, I'm at the law. I hear somebody vacuuming. This might, actually, here it is. Here's our exit. I think we're going to be out of the stadium if I can open this door. Yes, we are. Cool. All right, before I head off into the night here in Philadelphia, we'll say goodbye to you from the Hyundai Club at Lincoln Financial Field. Yeah, I know I'm back. I know you probably lost me while I was in the elevator, but just wanted to give you the quick rundown. The Chiefs lost to the Packers, right? 49ers, they're roaring. They're the best team in football, and I don't think that the gap between 1 and 2 is particularly small. I think it's big, and I think we're gonna get through this analysis tomorrow with a lot of salient points. But the 49ers caused the Eagles to lose their cool today. They bullied them in their house. They got their vengeance with the NFC Championship game, and now they're moving forward trying to get that 1 seed. Remember, there's still a lot of work to be done for the 49ers in that regard. But Brock Purdy, right in the midst of that MVP race, today might have been the strongest feather in his cap so far. We'll talk to you soon.